Hey everybody, this is Sunny, the original diva of the WWE and 2011 WWE Hall of Famer. And over here in the United States of America, they call me the Queen of Controversy. And on November 14th in Glasgow, Scotland, you're going to find out why on Inside the Ropes with Sunny.
Hello there! Welcome to another astounding edition of Russian Roulette. Wrestling Roulette?
Wrestling Roulette, yeah.
Like,
Russian Roulette. I was only joking.
This is the last one, because one of us will be dead.
Mao!
Don't look at me! Right, so, usual script, pick a topic at random, completely random. This could be anything, could be serious, could be funny, could go any direction.
Yep.
We have 10 minutes on the clock from the dot to talk about it.
That's right.
It's your turn to pick, Mr.
Oh,
Kirkwood.
Jesus, right. Well, 1 to 20, but a couple of them I've taken obviously, so let's go with 10.
10. PG getting the blame.
Ooh. Man, we're going to struggle to get that in 10 minutes.
I think we will.
Let's give it a go, though.
Okay, so PG getting the blame for it being... Well, I mean...
Well, that's what it means. It means PG getting the blame for it being... what it is?
What it's not anymore.
Right, okay, fair enough, right.
Because... Well, let's get started.
I'll start, right.
But they're looking at... It's called... It referred to as the PG era. This era we're in. Because there's that in between as well. There's the one after. Attitude Era ended in what? 2001 in my opinion is when it came to an end.
Yeah.
What was the in between area?
Do you know it did have a name?
Was it Ruthless Aggression?
Yeah, I had that again thrown out, the Ruthless Aggression era.
Terrible.
Then there was the reality era. Did that get thrown around at one point?
I know they tried to call this one the entertainment era.
That's it.
But nobody bought it.
No.
Now they refer to it as the PG era because everyone blames wrestling's change from TV 14 to PG to be the reason that WWE is no longer the powerhouse, or wrestling is no longer the powerhouse it once was. People are looking at it at the wrong elements.
Yeah,
Look
totally.
at when the Attitude Era came to an end. It came to an end when the Monday Night Wars came to an end.
Yes.
The Attitude Era wasn't just the WWF. It was ECW and WCW as well.
Oh, God, yeah.
NWO brought Attitude.
Yep.
ECW brought Attitude.
Yep.
That is what was missing.
Yeah.
When you don't have competition... Now, I'll look at this. I'm a football fan. Now, in Glasgow, they've been split up.
Okay.
They're two big teams. It's that... They miss each other.
Yeah.
The whole scene misses that one... You need rivals.
Definitely, yeah.
Because when you don't have someone snipping at your toes, which you got to strive for. When you've got the NWO, and you've got young guys like Guerrero, Mysterio, and all these guys knocking out the park and knocking you into the ground...
Yeah.
You're going to come up with your best stuff. The boys are going to come up with the best stuff because they're not lazy. They want to win.
Yeah.
Young, hungry guys coming through. Now, the whole industry's changed.
Well, I've got... Well, this is one of the things I want to say. I love professional wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
I can. And one of the things I like about it is that it does morph, it does change, it does evolve. And you know, an interesting point you brought up was... See, in the Attitude Era, I mean, that was... You got to bear in mind that WWE is quite a young company for what it is. I mean, when he took over from his dad to...
80...
Something like that, 82, even 83, something like that, to what it is now. I mean, they're using this period just now to make a lot of changes, because financially WWE is fine.
Yeah.
But they've also got to start investing in their future.
The revenue-wise have got more income than they've ever had before, because again it goes back to they didn't have to split it around the wrestling industry. They had WCW and ECW taking a lot of their cash, and they didn't have as many revenues. The internet was in its infancy, hadn't quite taken off the way it has now. Download market, you know, there's so many new things to sell.
Oh God, yeah.
Whereas the term wrestling often is followed by business, and that's exactly what it is business. Now, if I look at wrestling from my life, I get into it when it was even more PG than today, because you never had.
So when would that have been, like
Hogan, Warrior, Texas Tornado, Bret Hart, LOD? It was, and you had. Like,
I mean, that's the era that's the area that brought me in. That's the area I loved. You know,
that's more PG than today, because you never like. It was a shocking moment when Miss Elizabeth got her took her skirt off at SummerSlam '88. Okay. That was a big deal. AJ Lee's bent over in front of us every week.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, baby. But
I actually prefer Cataline being AJ Lee because she's got quite thick thighs.
Mm-hmm.
Quite like that.
We're kind of going off topic here with Billy.
Man.
Can you stop touching me with that?
Sorry, mate. It's not PG. Is that a spot or a boil? Anyway, right.
But I mean, people blame it like, oh, you can't say fuck or bollocks anymore. You can't show as much tit and you can't do certain levels of violence, and that is why.
I don't think that's necessarily. I mean, like, you see the sex element of it. Like, I don't really need to see women's tits in wrestling. And by that I mean bare flesh. I mean, I'm going to see women's breasts because they've got them. So, you know, you get by that.
Yeah, totally.
And wrestling doesn't need to be that kind of sexualised because you got to remember it's an escape as well.
So there's that element that's get changed. That's been taken away. The violence levels definitely dip, less blood. But I mean, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think we were getting to a point of people were falling 30 feet. Like,
imagine where WWE. I mean, imagine where it would have went. You know, imagine where it would have had to have went.
Well, we could have said that someone would have died. Someone did die in amongst it all. Owen Hart fell 75 feet for a stupid, pointless mid-card stunt.
And what was it? And what was essentially just a little PG bit of fun.
It was exactly
you know what
the
I mean?
most PG element of that whole
just
show.
A little silly thing.
They blame PG for bad writing.
Yeah, I'm not belittling Owen Hart's death there, by the way. I just want to make that very clear.
You want to look at the difference in rosters through time. Right? Now, I think a huge problem with today's rosters is we've got a stack of sports entertainers and very few professional wrestlers.
Yes, totally. I'd agree. I think that's, if you were going to put blame for something bad for the PG area, that's definitely one of it. And I think it's interesting, and we said this before, that a couple of the guys who have actually worked around the world, they seem to be the guys that are now sort of advancing.
Claudio Castagnoli, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, you know, these are the guys that are the new generation. They did the indies, they did everywhere, kind of like what used to be the territories with Jericho, Benoit, blah blah blah. Different style, and people used to come from different backgrounds. You'd get football players, you'd get legit fighters, UFC guys. You know, now it's just there's very few.
This big development facility is going to have to really produce some fantastic work. I mean, that's more of a polishing facility, isn't it? I mean, there's certain guys like Sammy Callahan, and he's wrestled all around the world and all that type of thing. But are they going to take the edges off? And it's the edges you need.
What, like unmasking El Generico and making him just the generic? You know what I mean? Like no offense to the guy, but he doesn't stand out from a crowd. Wrestling wise, he's one of the best.
Oh, definitely.
He is outstandingly good. El Generico in the ring. But he doesn't have the look. No. But yeah, they're not going to market him right. That's the biggest problem with WWE is they have no idea how to create stars right now.
Yeah.
They created John Cena and Randy Orton, Technically they created them almost 10 years ago.
Oh, man.
Well, JBL got beat for the title, WrestleMania 22 or something like that, man?
Fuck.
Maybe 21 by John Cena. John Cena's approaching 40.
I miss JBL.
JBL's a good hand.
I miss JBL, man. I miss wrestlers like JBL.
People blame PG, but 2007 was worse than this year.
Yeah.
And that wasn't a PG time.
In terms of blaming PG for the down point in business, I don't... I mean, don't get me wrong. I watch Raw and I've been mindlessly bored. I've enjoyed it recently. I will say that.
It has got better.
Although I did read reports online that were saying, that's more down to luck than writing. Listen, I want to make this very clear. Having worked in television industries and stuff like that, and certainly, and you can vouch for this in terms of wrestling, anything that goes out there has been meticulously planned. Luck, I really don't think.
See, that's an element of problem I think today as well. The less improv, everything's so scripted to a point. That's not what they used to have. Austin,
when you used to give guys bullet points and go, "This is it." Go.
Do you think The Rock and Austin had all those stuff fed into their brains? Do you think that 316 thing was written by some promo guy? Do you think that was written by some guy that was a part of the Twilight writing team? No danger.
Look how well Mark Henry got his retirement segment over. That was all Mark Henry. That was a guy that, whatever your opinion is of Mark Henry as an in-ring performer, that was a guy with
one of the most improved guys in the past 5 years.
15 years wrestling experience. I'm going to throw that out there one more time. Nearly 15 years wrestling.
1996 he debuted.
Yep. So we're talking, this guy's a vet. This guy's the vet. He's wrestled all around it, and he got that over gangbusters, man. I do have one slight problem with his catchphrase now. It's what I do. It sounds like a toddler. It's what I do.
What I do.
I do poo. Do poo poo. Of course you do, you wee adorable bastard.
Yeah,
there you go.
Just scruff the hair and send them away.
But it can work with any wrestling catchphrase. Just take a word out and it becomes toddler speak. It's ruined.
Well, I think that's a huge element today, is they show absolutely no faith in anyone. I mean, CM Punk and our guy, they give the guy a little bit of freedom.
Yeah.
And he takes the ball and runs with it. And now
totally. I think they need to start having more faith in these guys. But you know something? It's interesting that I'm not gonna mention the person, but someone quite high up in WWE, or well respected in WWE, told me, it's not Mick Foley, I want to make that very clear, right? Because people are going to be thinking that, did say that sometimes it actually comes down to the performers. They've signed their contract, that's it, they're convinced, I am on my way to WrestleMania. They don't put the work in themselves. They're not interested in what their gimmick, what their backstory is. But you get special guys that come along and they go, well, this is my gimmick, this is my story, this is what I'm going to be, I'm going to live this.
Do you think it's because of the developmental that these guys aren't getting to travel the roads, pick up all these different characters? Like, and for example, Kevin Nash's U-Shoot, one of his U-Shoot things, he's talking about a road trip he had with Dutch Mantel, Psycho Sid, Iron Sheik. I mean, what are you going to learn in that car? Those characters, those human beings that you can base so much of your life on.
It's also being hungry in that way. You know, I mean...
I personally think that this may sound weird, but I see a generation gap between myself and people in their early 20s and stuff. Kids are stupid and boring now.
Yeah, well, it's like, the person what it was, it says, like, commentators would go to them and they go, so, what about yourself? Tell us about your match.
That's our time.
Right, I'm going to finish this thought, though, because it's important, I think.
Extra time.
Boom, boom. And he went, tell us about yourself, tell us about the characters. We can get over in commentary. There's a couple of things about you. I quite like video games, and I think that there's an element of that problem there. PG, yeah, I would like a little bit of an edge every now and then. I think WWE does kind of...
I think with having PG put back in place, when you bend it and go over the edge, it seems a bit more out of shock. You need to... There's no shock value left in wrestling.
Yeah.
It took the point of Austin had to beat 7 shades out of a girl to start getting some booze. Yeah. When you get into that point, you're starting to push the envelope so far that it's hard to... They needed to slow down start picking back up again.
I think I would like to see... I'd like to see aggression, and I'd like to see guys presented as being cool. Mm-hmm.
Everyone... A big problem with wrestling. This goes for Scotland as well. This often happens. A few guys are criminal for this. Everyone's a comedian these days.
Yeah.
All promos. How many gritty promos? When was the last time you really see a promo on TV? Because it's almost impossible to read a script, because these guys aren't actors. They shouldn't be reading scripts. They should be talking from the heart.
Yeah.
That's why CM Punk's best promo, and is regarded as one of the best promos in professional wrestling in the past decade, is because he said he meant that. That wasn't CM Punk a script. That was CM Punk the man telling us what he thought, and because of that, they made a star out of it.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan, similar thing happened the next night after Mania. He, the whole yes. He came out, spoke.
Give them a go. I mean, you signed these guys for a reason. Please tell me. I mean, stop signing guys because I'd say if you're actually going to put, I don't think you can blame the PG era. Mm-hmm. But I think there's a mentality that's a problem, and that's my observation. And I think that comes from the booking, the signing process, and all that.
The fact there's no competition is everyone's afraid to. Most people are afraid to change the world. Now, CM Punk was the only guy. Yeah, again, we keep going back there because, quite frankly, the guy's been a revolution in the past few years. One of the few guys that went, "Get up, you! I'm out of here. Unless you do this for me." To which Vince went, "Oh, thank God, I've got one."
Yeah.
I've got one. Like, Shawn Michaels was the only guy that could have said to Vince McMahon, "Fuck you," and kick his door on the way out. Why could he do it? Because he was the most passionate guy in the world. Yeah. And he cared so much, and he knew that if you did give that guy the ball, he'd run with it. How many of those guys right now are kicking McMahon's door and going, "I've got this, slamming it down on his table and going, "Do this with me." Stone Cold came up with his own stuff.
Those are the guys you need.
We can blame. I think there's a lot of elements contributing to the situation we're in. That's why the guys starting to come through are the indie guys. The Shield again. You've got The Rock's cousin. He's just bred for success. Look at the boy. But you've got Dean Ambrose, big name right now. He's getting preached a lot, and he's starting to move into the front of promo pictures and WWE stuff. I'm noticing, so they're big on him. he learned substance, and another guy, he did death matches. I've seen him with skewers.
Oh God, yeah.
I've seen him go all angles, so oh God, it was good enough for the best. Maybe death matches aren't the worst thing in the world, eh?
Listen, you sign these guys for a reason. They're starting to sign workers. Let them go. I understand you wanted to fine. Let them get the experience, make it better. But don't destroy the heart.
Dean Ambrose has changed in name only. That's still John Moxley going.
Oh, that's very much still John Moxley.
He's a little bit less.
We'll see John Moxley.
Yeah.
We'll see John Moxley.
He's still,
and it'll be a John Moxley with international experience. A John Moxley that can make 5,000 people feel the way they did.
This may sound like a weird one, but he could be the next Mick Foley in terms of the chat.
Oh, yeah.
There's something about the way he talks. He's got this sinister serpent-like.
Yeah.
They're starting to make moves in the right directions.
I actually think Dean Ambrose. I think he could be the next Jake.
He's that type of character. They've got to stop looking for the second generation guys to save the world, because how many second or third generation guys have came by in the past few years that have made an impact?
Exactly.
You've got a list of how many that have. Cody Rhodes could have done more, and I think they're kind of wasting.
I think Cody Rhodes will. But I think he could have, at one point, see when he had that bag gimmick and all that, you should have pulled the you gave him the Intercontinental title and you ruined it.
He brought the new belt back, and I thought, this is cool, but they keep doing that, and then people I think they forget their own ideas. Like Cody shows up, you got my new belt yet? Like, oh, you getting a new belt? Sorry, it's a Cena promo. I think people have got to start growing balls as well. I think some of them have got to start kicking doors and saying, here's an idea, run with it. No, I'm not really sure on that. Well, you're lost. But having nowhere else to go.
Yeah,
we're in a weird scenario that McMahon's monopolised his own business, and his fear-mongering campaign worked so bloody well that he's got.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens when Triple H does actually take over. And you know something, McMahon he bought the company from his dad when he was 69. Vince is coming up on 69. He's like 65 or something.
I think Trips is getting it. Apparently Shane's not hugely interested in.
Shane's away running something else.
He's away. He was never like. Apparently, he was never a great full-on wrestling mind, but he was a great business mind. He was really good at thinking of ideas in pop culture. And
I'm surprised he's not in the company nurse. But anyway, we have drifted a little extra bonus there.
That's one we could fill for hours.
But our consensus here is.
It's not the rating. It's other elements.
It's the product.
Yeah. It's quite frankly the way the wrestling business has been monopolised by one guy. He's created his own monster.
Yeah, he's wanting to keep money coming in. But in order for WWE to be what it is in this day and age, it needs to make these concessions. I think, listen, in personal taste, I don't agree with a lot of it, but I love a lot of it as well. I've got to make that very clear.
They've got their strongest roster of new guys for a long time.
And they've got some guys coming in that I'm excited about.
There's some definite prospects there. They still keep wasting guys here and there. Like Brodus Clay, in my opinion, could have been top monster Vader heel punching people's faces out of the back of their heads.
Yeah.
But he's not. He's dancing like a goon instead.
Dancing like a
goon. And Hip Hop Hippo's doing the same. Or what is he called now? The Tensai. What's he called now?
Sweet Tea.
Sweet Tea. Well, I'm not happy with that either, by the way.
Yeah. And I mean, the best part of that relationship is gone. Would have been the whole them coming together. That's all gone. And we've got Bray Wyatt coming in, El Generico, which for all the if he's getting behind it, it comes down to what William Regal said when they gave him the he's a man's man. He went, right, fine, I'll make it work.
Yeah.
I'll make it work. I'm a pro.
It's funny you say that. Like, I read an article. It was Magnus Rights for FSM. It was something he wrote about gimmicks and people, and he went, the fact is, I got given that Gladiator gimmick and I never once believed in it myself, so it was never going to get over. There's guys that have got worse gimmicks over. Mark Calloway is a zombie. That's the way that started. He was like pantomime. He was the Phantom of the Opera when he started.
Yeah.
Now, that could have been perceived as the most. That guy believed he was the Undertaker, and now he's top tier.
Look at him. Look at the $1 Million Man.
There's a lot of hokey gimmicks that. Doink the Clown, Matt Bond.
Man,
he knew.
People hated him.
He's like clown. Clowns are a figure of fear. They're not just. I think more people are scared of clowns and they find them funny. And he went there, but I think that should wrap us up there. Yeah,
we're going to call it there. If you enjoyed the show, by all means, set us a topic. You can do that via either of our Twitters, either of our Facebooks, or of course via Inside the Ropes. We will see you next time on Wrestling Roulette.
Peace.